Hey folks, MonkeyKingHero, and we're here to today discuss about this shiny paradox Pokemon. So for hunting shiny paradox Pokemon, it takes a little bit different approach than what we're used to. For this, I'm going to advise you first that you need a thing called Salty Herba Mystica or Other Herba Mystica, which is an award for beating 5 and 6 star raids randomly. Salty Herba Mystica is the main thing you're going to need. So if I open up my bag here and go to ingredients, see if I can find it here. There you go, Salty Herba Mystica. So I only have one, but we're going to use this one to essentially. So again, if you haven't got this, you need to do some raids and get it. This is how you essentially increase the odds of shiny type Pokemon. You're going to be using this with a bunch of other recipe items in order to essentially boost the odds of shiny Pokemon appearing, and this will last for 30 minutes. This is also key in that it lasts for 30 minutes, but if you save the game and then quit out of Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, the effects of the sandwich no longer apply and you'll need to make the most of it. So what I do is that I create the sandwich here, because you can't create it when you go into Area 0. I create the sandwich here, I say before, and I know I got 30 minutes for a certain type of Pokemon, depending on what type of Paradox Pokemon you're looking for. So, for instance, Iron Hands being electric fighting, for instance. That's something to use here. I'll leave a link in the description in the comments on the sandwich recipes for the different types and what you need for each one. But yeah, so if we are going to hunt a Paradox Pokemon, for instance, and I wanted to say in Violet, let's just get the list up here. I want to say I want to go for a shiny Iron Jugulis, let's say. So I'm looking at the different types of the Paradox Pokemon, and I can see that Dark is one that is specific to Jugulis. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the picnic table. I'm going to start creating the Dark type sandwich. So in this instance here, the Dark type is 1 smoked fillet. So again, we're going to go creative mode. Smoked fillets, which is what that needs, and then we need 1 sweet and 1 salty Herba Mystica. 1 sweet and 1 salty Herba Mystica. Now, just like with normal sandwiches, we need to make sure that we don't screw up any of the ingredients here. So we're gonna put all the smoked fillets on. We can't drop a single one. And we need to make sure we get the bread correct. Pin it, and then what you'll see here when we get to the top right in a second, once the whole animation here plays and such. Come on, hey, you can't skip this. So if you look in the top right now, you're about to see essentially 3 different types of dark things pop up. Sparkling Power Dark, Title Power Dark, and Encounter Power Dark, all level 3, right? Then we're going to leave the area and head into Area 0. Now, because we've used this sandwich recipe for Dark types, all Dark type Pokemon will have a massive Encounter spawn plus a massive Shiny spawn, increase your odds substantially. So if we just go to Research Station level 1, for instance, because and also it's worth mentioning that if you're going to try and do multiple shiny Paradox Pokemon, then use something like Fighting for Valiant and Iron Hands, so you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone, stuff like that. But anyway, now that we've done that, if we start driving around, you'll see that nothing is spawning on the upper levels because there's no dark Pokemon to spawn up here. So we're going to drop down to where the Iron Jugulises do spawn. Because up the top here, as you can see, the game isn't doing anything different because Jugulises don't spawn up here. Whereas if we drop down to where we know they do spawn, so again, just skipping past, I could have more Corona. You can see a lot more draft rigs though, because the game is still trying to spawn specific stuff, but because there's no dark types, it's just spawning one of something in the area that is more common. So if we go into the cave system here, where I know Jugulises do spawn, with the dark type Iguanas, you got Sneasel, Sneasel. Sneasel. There you go. So that's a Eugless there. Alright, so this is probably not the best place to go because it's just spawning Sneasels, but you can see that it's spawning essentially a lot more type of one Pokemon and thus increasing the shiny chances as well. So let's go down into the depths where I hope Euglesses spawn more commonly. Not used to things being outside that entrance, but oh well. This is not what I wanted to waste your time with, by the way, so I apologize. Okay. There you go. So now we're getting more Euglesses, see? So we got more Euglesses spawning where we know they're meant to spawn, which is in the cave system. So the more that we go down here, the more you'll see that more of the Euglesses are spawning. And what this is doing is that it's not only spawning and prioritizing these over any other Pokemon, it's also increasing the likelihood of finding a shiny Pokemon. So because of so many spawns, you need to be well aware of what it is you're looking for and what it looks like, so that if you come across it, you'll find it. It will still be a bit of a trek, and like I said, you have 30 minutes to do this, but this dramatically increases the chances of a shiny Pokemon spawning, especially for what you're looking for. So if I keep going right now, and then I go and cycle back up, and I just keep checking every single Pokemon that's spawning, because there's so many of them, then eventually a shiny Pokemon should spawn. It's still going to be a bit of a task, but it does increase the chances and likelihood of getting the shiny Pokemon that you're after. So I hope that helps.